I grow microgreens for restaurants around a whole country. This is how I do it. I started this microgreen farm about a year ago, so that I could have something to sell over winter, as there are not many vegetables available in the colder months. I started out selling locally to restaurants and farm shops, but soon ran out of customers because I live miles out from anywhere. I've recently started selling to the whole of the UK, sending my greens out by post. I'm currently growing peas, sunflower, radish, onion, garlic, wasabi, basil, amaranth and nasturtium. Because I sell mainly to restaurants, I'm gradually adding more high-end varieties such as wasabi, nasturtium and amaranth. The first step to growing microgreens is weighing out the seed. All of these different varieties are weighed out into separate containers to ensure the correct amount of seed in each tray. The larger seeds such as peas and sunflowers get soaked for a few hours to help speed up the germination. Keeping all of my trays clean is super important. I wash the dirt off my trays with a hose before scrubbing them down in a bucket of bleach. Once the trays are dry, they are filled with soil. I spread it as evenly as possible across the tray and break up any clumps. Then press down the soil to keep it all in one place. The soil is then made moist so that I can spread the seeds around without digging up the soil. The dry seeds are just shaken out of their container as evenly as possible across the tray. The pea and sunflower seeds that have been soaked must first be drained of water, then rinsed, before being spread as evenly as possible across the tray. The seeds are pressed into the soil to ensure soil contact, then watered. Some varieties such as nasturtium and coriander must be buried underneath the soil to increase the germination rate and to help remove the seed hulls attached to the delicate leaves. I spread a thin layer of soil over the top of the seeds, though some people do use vermiculite instead. To ensure an even germination of the seeds, the trays are stacked and then weighted with a brick to force the roots to dig down into the soil. After just a few days, the trays have germinated. They are then brought into the light to grow. Microgreens are watered from the bottom because the water is absorbed through the roots. The reason they are not watered from the top like most plants is because microgreens are grown very close together, and if they stay moist for too long, they can go mouldy. I water once or twice a day. Sunflowers take the most water, while basils and wasabi can be watered every few days. Before the greens are harvested, the canopy must be dried to increase the shelf life. This is done by blowing plenty of air across the greens, trying to remove as much water from the leaves as possible. Once the greens are dry, they are cut with a sharp knife. The knife has to be super sharp to reduce the damage done to the stems and increase the shelf life. I sell my greens in 3 sizes, a 750, 1000 and 1500 milliliter punnet. I place a meat absorbent pad at the bottom of my punnets to remove excess moisture and increase the shelf life. I always stand my greens up in the punnet because I think it looks a lot better than when they are laid over. The punnet is then labelled, dated and moved to the fridge ready to go out for delivery.